Take a quick look at this. A Chinese fighter jet flying just feet away from a U.S. Air Force aircraft, narrowly avoiding collision, according to reports. This happening last week as the U.S. jet was conducting routine operations over the contested South China Sea. The U.S. military says that American plane had to take evasive maneuvers to avoid impact here. But China is now accusing the U.S. of violating international law for flying over those contested waters. Meanwhile, Russian President Vladimir Putin and China's President Xi Jinping vowing to strengthen their military alliance. Joining us now to talk more about all of this, author of The Coming Collapse of China, Gordon Chang. Gordon, it's good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Happy New Year, Natasha.
Thank you. Happy New Year to you as well. What are you tracking in terms of this incident between the Chinese fighter jet and the U.S. Air Force aircraft?
The important thing will be to see if the U.S. continues these flights at the same pace, because the Chinese are obviously trying to intimidate us not to do that. And if they, in fact, succeed, then they will have won a big victory. So we just have to look at the pace of reconnaissance flights over the South China Sea. You know, China's trying to take over international airspace. We just can't let them do that.
Should the U.S. be concerned about an increasingly cozy relationship between Russia and China?
Well, absolutely. For instance, China is effectively financing the Ukraine war with its elevated commodity purchases. And we have seen that China's opened up its financial system to Russian institutions that have been sanctioned. The United States has been warning China about its support for Russia's war effort in Ukraine, but we haven't imposed any costs. Essentially, what's happening, Natasha, I think, is that this world is dividing into two. And Russia and China are forming the core of a new axis. You got Iran, North Korea, perhaps Algeria as a part of that. And that really means that the United States has to recognize the reality that this world is not the way it was after the Cold War.
If China and Russia did essentially form a new axis, as you say, how formidable, how frightening, how concerning is that to the United States? And what does the U.S. need to do right now?
Well, both of them are weak states, but that makes them more dangerous because, as we saw in December, for instance, China became much more provocative. It had that large incursion into India and certainly increased activity, not only this incident we've just been talking about, but also in the East China Sea around Japan, South China Sea against the Philippines, Taiwan. And so these two states have really the incentive to roll the dice and see where they can go, which means they can take us by surprise. And the United States just needs to understand that China's preparing for war and that we need to do the same thing.
When you say they're preparing for war, what exactly do you mean and where?
Well, China, for instance, is engaged in the most rapid military buildup since the Second World War. It's trying to sanction-proof its regime, and it's mobilizing China's civilians for battle. So really, this is a total society effort. Now, I don't know if they'll actually go to war in a large effort, but the point is we're not paying attention. We have a White House and we have a Pentagon that has no sense of urgency, which means that this could, even though Russia and China are much weaker than the U.S., they could take us by surprise. They could actually win because we're not defending ourselves. This is a matter of great peril, a moment of great peril for us.
Gordon Chang, I certainly appreciate you coming on and sharing your insights and the context that you have to provide. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.